And we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome back for episode 26.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 26 of A Star Wars Journey with Ashley and Brandy. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Brandy.
And tonight we are finally going to be talking about Rogue One and A New Hope. I don't know about you, Brandy, but it feels like it's been 84 years.
It's been 84 years, girl.
It has.
I'll tell you what, I wanted to wear this damn headset's giving me trouble again. I wanted to wear black for mourning because Rogue One was so sad.
Oh my gosh, this is so appropriate. I'm wearing black, so I'll wear it for you.
You're wearing it for me, but then I went with my pumpkin-y paisley orange because Halloween. This is kind of like our Halloween.
This is Halloween week, exactly.
Yes.
So I think you're perfectly appropriate.
My favorite holiday.
Yeah, same. It's so much fun with the kids. Hey, you know what? Before we forget, let's give a big shout out to Luna Girl for being so awesome, moderating the chat for us.
Yes, Luna Girl. Is everything looking okay there? Like, have you got your wrench and all?
From what I can tell, it looks like she's handling things just fine.
Well, she's large and in charge.
She is.
She's amazing.
We are in safe hands with Luna Girl, I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
So I guess before we begin, you look great, I'm sure. I wish I could see you right now. Talking to Luna Girl.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to log into the chat too because I'm jealous. I want to see it. I'm going to put it like in front of my computer. So, so I can see, I can see it.
Absolutely.
And so I'm not looking down because it was really, bothering me. My profile was bothering me when I watched the last video. So I don't know.
Okay.
My body dysmorphia kicking in.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, I hate the way I'm doing that. So anyway, I've got it where I can see everybody. So, hey, used and abused. Hey guys.
Used and abused. So good you guys could join us tonight. Absolutely. Really excited to have you.
Everybody should check out their channel. Their channel is so good. And they don't do just fandom stuff. They do like race stuff, like racing, if you're like a racing fan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's really cool. They're really dynamic.
Awesome.
Hey, Hector.
Hi, Hector. So,
we do have a shout out. We want to shout out Scare of Scuttlebutt. And so we know our fearless leader, Ro. And the reason I'm shouting them out this week is that they're doing like this really cool series on Tim Burton. And what's your favorite Tim Burton and all that. So it's like they asked for people to call in. And I was like, yeah. And so I called in and I told them all about how I love The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Girl, me too. Is there anything we do not have in common? There's got to be something.
I love it so much. It's so good. I was 13. I'm aging myself. I was 13 when it came out.
Okay.
And so I was like this little goth girl, emo kid.
Okay.
And I was weird and, I was into stuff like Edgar Allan Poe and, all of this stuff.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's the good stuff. Mm-hmm. And so he made it okay to be that way. You know what I mean?
Did.
He really spoke to me on a spiritual level. So,
oh gosh, awesome. I fell in love with Tim Burton. I think when I first saw the first Batman movie, the first two were my favorite with Michael Keaton.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I love those. Oh yeah. Those are my favorite Batman movies.
I might have to call back and be like, by the way, I also love Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, same. So well, that sounds really, really awesome. So yeah, I'm glad you chose Nightmare Before Christmas because that is definitely one of his best.
Yeah, it's my favorite. They're doing a little fall festival in my town, and they've got a big projector up, and they're going to show a film. And so they're like, "Well, what do y'all want to see? Hocus Pocus or Nightmare Before Christmas?" And I'm like, "Freaking Nightmare Before Christmas!"
Right. That's the Halloween movie.
That's it. Halloween movie.
Exactly.
But anyway, so I don't know if they're going to do it or not. But hey, DJ and Kevin. Hey, guys.
Hi guys,
It's
thank you so
awesome
much
to
for
see you
joining
in
us.
the chat.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, feeling so much love tonight. Look at all these people.
I know, they're amazing.
Do you want to drop our voicemail number in case anybody wants to drop us a voicemail?
We do have a voicemail number, and if you have any thoughts on our thoughts, please give us a call at 205-928-6368.
We absolutely love hearing from you guys, so please drop us a call. So
that's it. Hey, Dragon Buddy.
Forgot to ask you ahead of time. Is there any news? I haven't really been online much.
There's some news.
Is there?
Yeah, girl.
Okay.
There's some news. I decided to keep it short.
Okay.
Because we've got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
And so, like, I mean, you know, people may come here for the news, but they really want to hear what we have to say about Rogue One and A New Hope. So, the biggest news is that Hayden Christensen is back on the scene.
That's right.
And he's going to be in Ahsoka. So we knew that he did like this little voiceover for Rise of Skywalker. We knew that. And of course, I had to go back and rewind that to even hear his voice because there was so much going on, and I was feeling so many emotions during that movie.
Force of light in the house. Hey, ladies.
Oh my gosh! Hey, ladies.
Hi, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Anyway, sorry.
The escape pod is in the house. Give it
up
for Dawn and Brady.
It's not the same without you guys.
No.
Oh dear, I don't know if you can hear that, but my 6-year-old son is trying to break in. Mommy's busy right now.
Yeah, that's right. Mom problems.
This is my life 99.9% of the time when I'm not talking Star Wars with Brandy. It's taking care of my 2 kids and homeschooling my kids. So
yeah, she's a super mom.
Try.
I have fur babies, but she's a super mom. but yeah, so Hayden Christensen is confirmed back nice. And on Ahsoka. We know he was in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and so we know he was in Obi-Wan Kenobi, but now we know he's in Ahsoka, and we don't know what capacity he will be in Ahsoka. We don't know if it's Force Ghost. We don't know if it's flashback. I don't care. Officially, I don't care. I just need more Hayden Christensen in my life.
I miss him. Yeah, I really miss him.
And I remember. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm feeling bad because when I first met him in Attack of the Clones, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so whiny, he's so annoying. Oh, stop, and cringe. And then, he came back in Revenge of the Sith, and I thought redeemed himself, and now I just miss him. So this is so exciting for me.
And then he was directed. Yeah, I think it's going to be flashbacks too, Dawn. I really do. So I'll take whatever I can get. I'm
Same,
just down with it. He got so much flack from fans about his performance.
Right.
And so Lucas directed him to be like whiny and immature and really stoic and unemotional. And hey, Justin. And so it was like really not his fault that he gave the performance that he did. So
right.
I
liked his choices that he made though in Revenge of the Sith. Like it made sense to me. I thought that he did mature a lot since Attack of the Clones, in my opinion. So
so that's the biggest news.
That's so exciting.
There is a lot. There's news in action figures, collectibles. I don't think you can call this an action figure because it's too big and too expensive. But if you've got $350, you can have a 17.5-inch Rancor and add it to your Star Wars collection.
I have a feeling there is someone out there within our own group that's probably going to put money down on that.
Oh yeah, girl. I think you should. I think that. Look, if I had the money, I would do it. I love the Rancor.
Same.
So,
but I don't have $350.
Not to put toward the Rancor. This is a really super detailed, hyper realistic Rancor that actually went to Lucasfilm and scanned the actual prop at the Lucas Ranch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so it's got a wingspan of 48 inches from claw to claw.
Really?
Yes, big boy. He's a big boy. Gosh.
Wow.
I know.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So if you wanna, there's a Christmas present idea. Here's another Christmas present idea.
Okay.
And I love Star Wars Life Day. I don't know if I'm the only person, but like I love Star Wars Life Day. Like I've got like this obsession with it.
Okay.
And because it's like Star Wars Christmas, but it's like not Christmas. It's something different. And so there's a Star Wars Life Day cookbook coming out.
Okay.
There's 30 recipes in the book, so you can have a little taste of Star Wars with your holidays just in time for Thanksgiving, Christmas. So
that sounds up my alley, I think, because I like to cook. So
yeah. So you would love this, So and you can celebrate Life Day, and then of course I had to dig into the history of Life Day because I do love it.
Mm-hmm.
And Life Day was a Wookiee holiday.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after the Empire fell, like all across the star systems, sentient beings adopted it as their own holiday. So it's a day to celebrate joy and peace and family and friends. And there's dancing and feast and twinkling lights.
Sounds like such a wonderful time.
It does.
I love it.
Day.
We'll have to have our own Life Day. That would be awesome.
Why can't we have a Life Day feast?
We should have one.
We should.
Yeah.
We should celebrate. We should celebrate joy and peace and laughter and family every day of the year.
I agree completely.
Okay, so I think this is my last bit of news. Sasha Banks mentioned that she is not going to be in The Mandalorian season 3.
Oh, that's right. I did remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not. So
she underwent a little bit of trouble earlier in the year, right? From what I can't remember what happened, but I just remember seeing that there was some controversy surrounding her. So this really doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, she said she had like some unpopular views on social media. And so you know how that goes in this day and age. If you don't say the right thing to the right people at the right time, you're out. So
pretty much, yeah. I agree.
I'm gonna change headphones real quick because these are pissing me off.
Don't mince words, Brandy. Tell us what you really think.
So I am back.
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
You look like Joe Rogan now with the big headset. I'm gonna have to get one.
You gotta get one, girl. You gotta get one. And
hey, Real Farm Boys here and DJ Red. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, love that Rural Farm Boys here and
You're
Charlie.
So supportive. So that's it for news then?
That's it for news, yeah. We can get right into the meat and potatoes.
Dive into Rogue One. So I just cannot believe this is the only second time I've seen this movie. Like, what is wrong with me?
I know.
It's so good. I definitely believe with all of my heart it's the most perfect Star Wars film ever made.
Yeah, it's right up there for me with Empire. It is right up there.
Yeah, it's right up there. I actually think it's better than Empire, and I love Empire.
You know what? It might be like technically better, but it's amazing. It's so amazing. Just from the beginning, the opening, Galen Erso.
Yeah,
Is it for me?
Yes, that man
trying to protect his family, trying to do. I totally agree, Charlie. We are so like-minded. The best droid ever.
Yes.
He is my number 2 behind R2.
Yes. He was awesome. And I was really, really upset when he died. Like I had tears in my eyes or a droid, that's never happened before. So yeah, no, I love that droid.
I'm going to watch it again really soon.
I'm definitely going to watch it. Yeah.
Watch it for pleasure.
I definitely will. It's just such a beautiful film, and to think that they made a whole film. This is what really fascinated me as I was watching it again, is they made an entire film all based on getting those plans, and everything that was at stake, knowing that there were billions of lives at stake, and it was just so perfectly executed.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But yeah, I totally could relate to Galen, just the spot that he was in. He's just trying to protect his family, and because he's so smart and so gifted, that he was basically enslaved to the Empire to do this for them. And just gosh, I don't even know where to begin. It really, watching it too actually really made me appreciate Saw Gerrera again, because before I only saw this one time, so I got a glimpse of Saw Gerrera, but this made me appreciate Rebels just more, because we really got to know Saw, we really got to know his background, and seeing how he kind of faced off a little bit with Mon Mothma towards the end of Rebels. Like, that was just, I really appreciated being able to see all of that,
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a lead up on, and we talked about how we really appreciated Rebels toward the end, like the last 2 seasons. And you really feel like you see Mon Mothma and you see Saw Gerrera, you really feel prepared.
And there's a reason for that too, though, because we found out that Rebels came out, the last season of Rebels came out after Rogue One. So again, Filoni was working up towards it. So again, that guy is just a genius. You know, Star Wars is safely in his hands. He works towards that stuff, and so that helped.
Yeah. And I totally agree that I think the popular consensus in the chat is that we should watch it many times over. And because it is such a masterpiece. Everything I agree with what DJ Red said. The music, the plot, the acting, the pacing, the characterization is all incredible.
It was so good. And I'm feeling really bad because I think I'm going to totally butcher his name, but the force sensitive, the gifted blind Jedi, Chirrut Imwe, is that how you say his name?
I think it's Chirrut.
Chirrut, okay, yeah. Have I mentioned how much I love him? He was...
Yeah, he's so amazing.
He was so my beautiful. Favorite. And he really reminded me a lot of how Kanan had ended up towards the end, and I think it has something to do with the blindness. You just see so much clearer with the force when you're blind because you have to rely on it. Oh, share it. Is that how you pronounce it? Okay.
Charlie's telling me. I don't know.
I'm bad with names.
I apologize for butchering his name. I really do.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I need a phonetic pronunciation. I should have done my homework. I usually do that with like celebrities.
I know you do. Yeah.
But yeah, he just the way that he related and the force is with me. I'm one with the force, and I made that.
I get chills when I hear that.
When we were talking on chat, I said that's me going through a haunted house. The force is with me. I am one with the force. Yeah. The force is with me.
Right. Same.
So they want me to go. My cousin wants me to go on this haunted trail.
Okay.
And so you're basically walking through the woods in the dark, and people are coming out and like throwing stuff on you and touching you.
No.
It's like, yeah, girl. I know, Luna girl. I know. I've been 3 years in a row. I just don't have the
stomach for that stuff anymore. I'm such a wimp.
I've been 3 years in a row, but I heard this year was really insane.
Really?
So, like, I don't know if I can do it. Like, I don't know.
Do tell. Like, what's insane about it?
That they're like, it's more intense. It's like it's like deeper into the woods, and it's more, It's
and crazy. They touch you and stuff?
They touch you and they like spit water on you. And
ooh. Oh gosh. All right, COVID guys, really?
I know. It's a little, that part's nasty.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I guess I'm thinking they put it in their mouths and then spit it out, but maybe it's just like a squirt gun or something.
I think it's just a squirt.
Okay, never mind.
I hope so.
Yeah, let's hope.
But yeah, so the thing I love about Galen Erso, I love Jen, and I think I totally hope they use a water gun too. The thing I love about Galen Erso and Jen is very much her father's daughter.
Yes.
Like she is, she's independent. She's strong-willed. Mm-hmm. She's very like motivated for self-preservation, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing.
Well, you can't blame her for what she's been through since a little girl.
Yes, exactly.
So,
and so what Galen was able to do by planting that in
like the design of the
planting that somewhere in there is amazing, because he made the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, and that's what and that really is what made me tear up so much when she finally got to see his message when he was speaking to her. I mean, not only is it, it's emotional because it's these two characters, father and daughter, that haven't seen each other in how many years? 15 years or something.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was revealing his plan to take out the Empire, that he put a vulnerability in the plans. And I'm just thinking that this is just so beautiful, because we know what's going to happen. We know they're going to succeed, but the odds are all of these people are going to die to make that happen. And what a beautiful sacrifice, not just he's making, but all of these people that we're going to get really close to, and we're going to watch them all die to make this happen. So
yeah, that's really, when you watch it, you fall in love with all these characters, and then midway in the movie, you realize, wow, they're like literally all going to die.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
Rural Farm Boy is saying that Michael, okay, I know I can pronounce this right, Giacchino, he wrote the score in just 4 weeks.
Wow.
That is insane. How do you write such beautiful music in just 4 weeks?
The score is incredible.
The score was
one of my favorites.
Yeah. And so I don't know if you knew this, but Jin's father, Galen, he was actually modeled after Robert Oppenheimer, who was the father of the atomic bomb.
Yes.
You did know that. Okay, because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that. I was looking up some trivia when I was watching this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of the inspiration, and I think it's brilliant, because he knows he's going to create a weapon that's going to destroy billions of, kill billions of people.
Gosh, just imagine what he went through.
That's
it's so powerful.
It is, and that's why the film. That's why Jin's sacrifice and her death is so much more powerful, especially what Andor says at the end, that your father would have been proud. I mean, that was when I was just like, I lost it. I was already crying, but when he said that, I was just, I'm done.
But now we haven't talked about Cassian.
Yeah, let's talk about Cassian.
He starts off very abrasive, very elusive character. Hey, Amanda. So it was amazing to me to see him slowly learn to trust Jin.
Yes, that was hard for me the first time I saw it, because he really didn't trust her at all.
No, and I think the speech that he gave, where he's like, not all of us have the luxury of jumping in at the last moment. He's like, I've literally been fighting my entire life.
Right. Yep.
I mean, it was beautiful. I think it really helped Jin appreciate his point of view more.
Absolutely. And I thought it was beautiful too, how, at the end, when she was ready to go through with this plan of her father's, and get those plans, like Cassian was there, at her side, to do that. So I just thought that was awesome.
Right.
So I thought it was really interesting question when we were discussing about what you said regarding Galen, and how many people were kidnapped throughout the galaxy to be forced to work for the Empire.
Yeah, just forced slavery.
Yeah, it's like something that I never even considered.
Just think of, Galen is one person, but think of how many talented individuals throughout the galaxy, sentient beings, alien, human, whatever, were kidnapped for their talents, their abilities to work for the Empire.
Right. It's heartbreaking. And not all of them were able to, achieve what he was able to, to expose them in such a way. So yeah, the scene where Jin finally got to say goodbye to her father, man, that just sucked so much. And I was so heartbroken for her. But I think it was that was it. That was the moment when she realized she had to do this, she had to pick a side, and her father would have wanted this. And so that's, to me, I just thought it had to happen. and it was beautiful at the same time.
It was, yeah.
So,
and they got to have that moment.
Yeah.
I have read Catalyst, Rural Farm Boy, and I totally agree. It was really good.
Catalyst?
Catalyst is about the building of the Death Star.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really good. Is that's still in canon? I think that's still canon, right? That book? I don't know. They took away so many good books. I can't keep up with it, but
well, maybe they'll take them back.
Yeah, maybe
take them back as they develop more material and be like, you know what? There was this book that came out that really kind of makes sense with what we want to do. So we're going to just go ahead and make it canon because we can.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's
I think Catalyst might actually be canon, though. I'm not sure.
Right.
I think it was one of the early canon books.
Okay.
But it was really good. I read that, so it was really good.
Okay.
Nice. Catalyst is canon. Nice. I thought
yay. So. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we cleared up because I remember when we were watching Organa speak with Mon Mothma, I was so confused because he was saying that there was a Jedi that, you know, he worked with in the Clone Wars, but then towards the end he says, I trust her with my life. So he was indeed talking about two different people, Obi-Wan and Leia, right? I think we cleared this up when we watched it.
Yeah.
I can read the quote here. It says, I trust her with, I trust her with my life. That's what I wrote down. But he talked about how he knew a Jedi from the Clone Wars that was hidden away. So
I
was just confused because I'm thinking he knew a Jedi from the Clone Wars hidden away and I trust her with my life. I'm thinking Ahsoka? What? I was confused.
Yeah, that's a little confusing. But I think it was Obi-Wan.
It was Obi-Wan. Yeah, it was. So that was pretty cool when Jin got to meet with Yavin 4, right?
Oh my gosh. I love Yavin 4.
And just so you know, I was not imagining things. They did indeed call out over the intercom General Syndulla. They did call out. So that was a reference to Hera, which I thought was very cool.
Well, I read somewhere or we discussed it or something that she fought in the Battle of Endor.
Did we talk about that?
I don't know, but I read that somewhere.
Really? Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to research that because that would be something.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Rex was also fought at the Battle of Endor.
Rex is the anonymous Rebel Ranger.
That guy. That's Rex.
That guy's Rex.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy it. I'm fine with it.
Me too. That's totally fine with me. So I just, was so overwhelmed by the whole beauty of the last 20 minutes of the film, the battle scenes. Like, I just go back and think, oh my gosh, what would Lucas have done if he had had this technology back when he was making A New Hope? It was just so cool to see, like, the X-Wings and all of the different ships and everything just in the era of A New Hope, but just seeing the technology just so much better. And it was even cool that they took deleted scenes from A New Hope and inserted it into Rebels. Yeah, and I actually think I caught a couple of clips and I'm like, oh, that was totally 1970s footage. But it was cool. It worked. I loved it.
Yeah. It was so good. And the only thing that the score is operatic to me. And then the whole fight scenes are almost like balletic.
Yes.
Like, I mean, they're beautiful.
They are.
That's the one word that was resonating with me as I was watching. It's like, this is just so balletic. And it was gorgeous. I mean, just watching them, the X-Wings, and I always get a special feeling when I see an X-Wing.
Same. Yes. And it was just so amazing just watching like the parallel editing of all of the different characters that each of them had a small role. It was like a small role to play, but it was huge all the same, Yes. Like if this doesn't work in the plan, the whole thing falls apart. And here they're all working together and one by one, they all start to die. And it's just heartbreaking,
someone in the chat said beautifully tragic, Dragon Buddy, and it was beautifully tragic. And this is cliche, but there's no me in teen. So
right.
this is the epitome of that cliche,
Yes,
because
exactly.
they did work beautifully as a team. And when I think back on that speech that I'm thinking Hera Jen gave on the ship about how like we only have one moment and then we have the next moment until we run out of moments.
Right.
And it just gave me chills.
I got chills now just you saying that.
Mm-hmm. It was just amazing.
I agree. It was just so well done, like how everybody did their part, and they all knew that they were going to die and they still were able to make it happen. How did you like there were a lot of cool references when they were in the database room or whatever, and they were looking for the plans, and they named off a lot of cool references. A lot of them were from Rebels, like the black saber was mentioned. I don't know if you caught that. There was I forget. Shoot, there was another one too. I forget. But I just thought that was really cool. And then she knew that's what really that made me tear up actually when she knew
that was her Stardust,
which would make sense. This sounds terrible, but if you're going to blow up a planet, it's going to turn into stardust, right?
My God! I
wonder if Galen knew she would know, and that's why he kept reiterating calling her Stardust. You know, so. Yeah, I just thought that was so beautiful.
I think he was unconsciously leading her in that direction.
I think so too. It was just so beautiful. We talked about how sad it was when Kay died. That sucked so much. He just totally went out. Kay, the droid.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah, the last 20 minutes was absolutely gut-wrenching, and it just explains why this was the only second time I've seen it, because it's just really hard to watch a movie when you know everyone's going to die.
The old emotions, I'm going to tell you. But I mean, it's as far as an aesthetically beautiful film, perfectly written, the score's amazing, the plot, you don't get better than Rogue One. And I can remember seeing it in the theater. And I saw it in the theater, and I'm like, wow, if they're all like this, we are in for a treat.
Yes.
And I just wish that director and that writing team could have taken
the sequels.
Please.
And, gosh, could you imagine? Yes. Oh, man, this is just torture. Thinking about how good it was.
This is completely off topic, but I got to say this.
Okay.
You know how we feel about Rian Johnson. Not everybody feels that way, but we feel we have a special place in our heart for Rian Johnson. And so I was looking up information on Life Day because I like to be an informed fangirl. And
that's the best fangirl who are informed.
That's the best one. And so I ran across a quote from Rian that said, "Do you think Ben Solo is redeemable?" And he said, redeemable? Of course he's redeemable. Look at Vader. He didn't do half the stuff Vader did, and Vader was redeemed. And of course, that's a paraphrase, but that's exactly what he said. And I'm like, oh, if only.
And he's got a point. I mean, I remember I saw a meme once online when they were debating like who's worse, Ben Solo or Anakin and Vader. And I'm looking at like all the stuff that Vader did, everything from like force choking his pregnant wife to killing a bunch of little Padawan kids to what else. But yeah, so I think he's got a point. So shoot, I had a note here. Let's see. Rian Johnson, writer-director, plays an Imperial trooper controlling the Death. Oh yeah, so Rian Johnson played one of the Imperial troopers on the Death Star. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, he was controlling the Death Star's super laser. So I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch to see if I can find him, or maybe
was he one of the engineers in the cool hats?
Yeah, that's what I think. He probably had one of those big hats on that covers his face.
Because I love that with whether it's sloped in the back.
Yeah, those are cool hats.
I love those hats.
I like
They're
those.
Amazing.
So yeah, this film was amazing. Let me see here. I got trivia. Gareth Edwards, who I believe he was the director, right? who's the director, instructed the art department to only use elements that would have been available in 1977 to get the movie to look contemporary to A New Hope. The flight control, the animations, for example, had to be kept as simple as possible, resisting the urge to make them too flashy. Yeah. So it's like he would do the opposite of what Lucas did. Lucas would have just been CGI. Like, right, exactly. And I totally could tell that the first time I saw it. I just remember thinking as I was watching it for the first time in theaters, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this looks just like A New Hope. Look at the technology. Look at this. Look at, it just looks exactly.
I think I talked to you about it. I really appreciated how they kept the targeting computers like all uniform to A New Hope. Yeah. And they do that some in the sequels too. So
they do a little bit of it. But I just remember watching this movie thinking this could be A New Hope right now. And then obviously towards the end, it just completely felt like A New Hope. So I just remember where was that guy when they made the sequels? Seriously, get Gareth Edwards back.
And look, or maybe how amazing was the deep fake on Tarkin?
I was impressed by that. I actually was really impressed with the deep fake with Tarkin. I don't know why, but I didn't like Leia's so much. Even the first time I saw it,
Leia's wasn't that good.
Yeah, Leia's, I thought, oh gosh, but Tarkin I was impressed with. I liked his.
They made Leia's face a little too thin.
Yeah, I think so too. And I don't know, something about her eyes didn't look right to me.
Because Carrie still was so young, she still had like that baby fat in her cheeks.
Yeah, exactly. And even though she had to lose like 10 pounds or something for A New Hope.
Jesus.
I know. I thought you looked fine, but
yeah.
Anyways.
And don't forget there are no bras in space.
Oh, right. Yeah, they don't wear underwear in space. There's apparently.
No bras. I can't wait to go.
So, but yeah, I loved also when Vader showed up to take out, the rest of the rebel crew. Oh, I was just like, oh my gosh. That was when my son finally shut up besides saying, is that Vader? Is that Darth Vader?
In his prime. Vader in his prime.
Yes. And so I love how quickly they did it, but they showed how he was in the one ship trying to get at the plans, and then they're handed off and they get into Leia's cruiser and you see it split off. And as soon as I saw that I remember when I saw it in the theater, I was just like, Leia's on that ship. Leia's in there.
Exactly.
I was so excited. There she is. So
amazing.
Gosh, they did such a good job with this movie. Yeah. So I have to admit, we're going to probably segue now into A New Hope because I think we covered everything, right? But, before we watched A New Hope, I watched the last 10 minutes of this just to sort of, I'm sorry, I'm terrible.
You did it without me.
I'm sorry. I'll tell you next time, I promise.
I would love to have seen the last 10 minutes again.
Well, we could watch the last 10 minutes of Rogue One and then watch the first 10 minutes of A New Hope just to sort of make up for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Just for effect, So, watching A New Hope, I really didn't take many notes. It was just fun to comment back and forth with you. And, I just loved your utmost love and devotion to Leia. She is our space queen. You are
my undenied
space
queen.
You wrote some of the funniest comments. What did you say? Oh, Leia's about to get executed, but she's going to take a nap.
What a queen.
She's just sitting back, relaxed and chilling out.
Yeah. And then my thing is when Vader goes into torture, torture her, she's sitting there with her legs crossed,
whatever, dude.
Bring it on, big boy. And it's I love her. I just love her. She's completely, if that were me, I would be pacing, I would be crying, I would be beating on the door. Yeah. I would be completely embarrassing myself. But the woman just has such composure and such panache. I mean, she is everything.
She is.
I love right before she got stunned on the cruiser, the stormtroopers, she got a shot off.
She got a shot off.
Hit him in the shoulder. I'm
she's not going to go down without a fight.
Exactly.
She is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it was incredible. And there were three things that really like popped out for me. Because, okay, watching A New Hope, every time I watch it, something else like screams out at me because it's just that good of a movie.
Yeah.
And so it was 3PO, which 3PO and his like incessant bitchery, it was like so hilarious. I completely identified with it. 3PO just wants to be safe. He wants to be comfortable, and he has no idea what's going on most of the time.
Right.
And I can identify with that. Okay.
Same.
I can identify with that feeling. Because we all want to be safe and comfortable, and I have no idea what's going on most of the time. So,
right.
So
he really is all of us, I think.
That's all of us. And 3PO, I mean, I love how 3PO was really slick with the Jawas, and when he's talking to Uncle Owen, and he's like, well, that little R2 unit, he's good. I've worked with him in the past.
Right.
And so and I'm like, dude, you just want your BFF with you.
Right, so exactly. Funny. Right.
And then later he completely sells him out to Luke, because Luke's like, he's caused me so much trouble. We're talking about R2. And he goes,
he excels at that, sir.
He excels at that, sir. And I'm like,
I love him and R2 together. I love the scene when, just right when they get onto Tatooine and they're walking in the desert, and he's just like, well, I'm not going that way. You go that way. It's like, you could totally tell they're best friends. It's awesome.
Yeah, they're wonderful. And then he's like, he finds him on the Jawas sandcrawler, and they're like, he's like, R2D2, it is you.
Right.
He's so excitable, and I love him. But he stood out for me. Han stood out for me because I really I have not seen A New Hope since rewatching Solo.
Okay.
And so, like, all of the things that Han was feeling and going through, and his resistance to join the rebellion, his self-preservation,
reminds you a little bit of Jin, actually.
Yeah, he does remind you of Jin. Yeah. And all of this, like, I just think of in his affinity for strong women. I would think of Kira, and then Leia.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just really fell in love with his character again, because it was so real. I mean, he just felt so real. And then that line about, he's like, you know, I've been from one galaxy to the other, but I've never seen anything that made me believe that there's one all-powerful force controlling everything.
Right. I did enjoy that dynamic between him and Obi-Wan. That, you know, they couldn't be more opposite, you know.
Yeah. So. That couldn't be more opposite, but it was Obi-Wan being the consummate Jedi and amazing, most perfect Jedi ever.
Yeah, he's Saint Obi-Wan to me.
He's Saint Obi-Wan. He's Saint Obi-Wan to me too. And so he's been Saint Obi-Wan since he turned down Satine.
Oh, wait, Rural Farm Boy, let the girls answer. What the strongest Star Wars have hearts of Kyber? The strongest stars. Oh, the stars have hearts of Kyber. Sorry. I don't know how to answer that.
Oh, the strongest stars have hearts of Kyber. I've heard that before.
I haven't.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Okay.
I don't know where it's from, though.
I don't either. It's the first time I'm hearing it.
You have to tell me in the chat.
Yeah.
Educate me. But,
right.
And then Tarkin popped for me because, you know, like, Tarkin is my boy.
Yeah, Tarkin.
Because, like,
love him.
He was my fake reference in college.
That is so badass, Brandy. That's so cool. What number did you put down for that?
Okay, I did not. I said, okay, you know, like how you had to have so many references or whatever, and I just made up some stuff, and I needed a reference, and so I'm like, well, what sounds academic? And I'm like, well, Dr. Jeffrey Tarkin. So Tarkin was, he's not Grand Moff Tarkin in my papers.
Okay, good, because people are going to go, who's Grand Moff Tarkin?
She knows a Moff? What's a Moff?
What's a Moff?
So yeah, Dr. Jeffrey Tarkin, and I don't know what university he went to. I can't remember that far back.
Okay.
But it wasn't the University of Coruscant. But
University of Coruscant.
he was my fake reference, and I used him all the time.
Really? Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that is really awesome. That's actually quite badass.
Don't be academically dishonest, people. And here I am teaching college,
right?
And teaching
my students. It worked for you.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
So I don't know, but anyway, I love Tarkin. I love him in how he interacts with Vader.
Yeah. I love their dynamic.
Because he's really not intimidated by him.
No, they're very much equals, in my opinion.
Yeah,
there's a mutual respect there. And if you remember how far back they go in Clone Wars. I remember I was really captivated with that episode where you meet Tarkin and you see him and Anakin really hitting it off, and it's kind of rubbing everybody the wrong way, especially Ahsoka, you know, just by Anakin agreeing with some of this stuff. I thought that was a really good episode of Clone Wars.
Yeah, it was. And they do go back, so it's kind of like, he knows who Darth Vader used to be, or, is, or whatever, and all of that. So he kind of sees him on an equal footing, like you said. So I loved all the Leia moments.
Leia's just awesome in this.
For me. I don't remember Luke being so whiny.
I was gonna say Luke was so whiny to me hearing it. What he said to Aunt Beru about going to Tarkin's or Tosh Station to get some pumpkin?
No, he's Uncle Owen told him to get the harvest in or whatever. And he's like, I was going to Toshi Station to pick up some power converters. And he's like, you can waste time with your friends later. And I'm like, Jesus. I love the Toshi Station line. Yeah. That's a famous one. But
I love that line too.
He was really he was whiny with Han too, and Han didn't have much patience with him.
No, especially when they took off, which you have to remember too. Like I remember mentioning this too. This is his first time doing anything. He's been on this stinking planet his entire life. He's about to go to space for the he's supposed to go to space for the first time. And so he's like, what does this button do? What is this? He's like a 5-year-old kid in the cockpit of a plane. You're like, what's this do? So I try not to be annoyed by that, and realize that
he played it really well. I mean, because he is this young farm boy, and who's never done anything but whatever moisture farmers do. So
exactly, and if you think about it, I just remember thinking about it. How much action has Obi-Wan, R2-D2, and even 3PO seen? Compared to him.
It. But now 3PO underwent
he had his mind wiped.
Mind wipes, yeah.
But so still, he's seen a lot of action. He's been all over the galaxy, So, but so I mean, that kind of bugged me a little bit. But then I had to sort of put things into perspective for him. But. Yeah, so I thought Han pretending to be a stormtrooper on the comm was so funny. He's like, we're all okay here. How are you?
Everything's optimal here. We're okay. How are you? And then he was like,
that was perfect.
And then he shoots it and he's like, it's a boring conversation anyway. Luke, we're going to have company. Oh, man.
That was
such
so
a fun movie.
Yeah.
So good.
It really did feel like it took 20 years for us to get here, though. Like when we first started this journey.
I can't believe we finally made it to the film.
Yeah. I think, having watched Clone Wars and then Rebels, just really made it feel like that amount of time had passed.
Yeah.
So, so the scene that really meant so much to me, obviously because we had just watched Rogue One, was when they were going through the plans and analyzing the Death Star and finding that vulnerability. I just loved that scene so much. Just seeing what it took to get to this point.
Right.
And again, just how brilliant that they actually made a movie just about that. So Oh yeah, and then the Luke bullseyed womp rats back in Tatooine. So that's where that term comes from, womp rat, because I'd never heard that before The Mandalorian. So I thought that was pretty cool. I stopped taking notes after that point. Just the whole scene with Luke suiting up, right away. It just shows that he just really wants to make a difference and be a part of this thing, and confronting Han, who's ready to skip.
Yeah, and he's got this youthful enthusiasm and sense of purpose. And yeah, like Luna Girl said, we've got to remember he's barely 18. Oh, hey, Press Play.
Press Play. Hello.
They've got a great show. So it's interesting to look at the maturity of Luke compared to the maturity of Leia. Because they're the same age, obviously. And but Leia had to grow up in a completely different environment. Like she's surrounded by adults and society and politics her entire life.
Right.
And so
she's been a part of this for a while, even going all the way back to, when we watched Rebels, she had an episode that she was involved in, the rebellion and everything. So she's been doing this for a while, so you have to mature in this kind of environment. It's life or death. So, I think that they were both written appropriately.
Yeah, I do too.
And Luke, he just undergoes so much transformation over the course of these next 3 films. It's enjoyable to watch. You want to see that journey that the character goes through. I mean, if you remember, Filoni wrote Ahsoka, to be a little bit immature and whiny, if you want to put it. Right. But that was done on purpose to control her characterization. That's what makes a good story. So, and we definitely saw that.
I was never offended by that. Like that.
I wasn't either. It didn't bother me.
No, that was always appropriate for me.
Yep. I think so too.
I love Amanda just mentioned in the chat that was a perfect moment when Luke saved Han saved Luke in the end so he could take that final shot.
Yeah,
and
I love that part.
We talked about this too last night. It's you get chills when Obi-Wan's like, he hears his voice.
Use the Force, Luke. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely felt the chills, and then you can hear the background music, swelling, and it was beautiful,
beautifully written scene. And we haven't even talked about. I know we're like kind of disjointed and not going chronologically, and whatever.
Right.
It's probably my fault, but
no.
So we haven't talked about like the epic showdown between Vader and Obi-Wan.
Right. Yeah, just everything that they had been through. Just when you first watched it for the first time, you had no idea the history that these two had shared. I mean, they have little lines of dialogue. You were the master and I was the apprentice. And just the fact that they used to be so close, they were brothers, and that's the first time that they had seen each other since Mustafar. So.
Yeah, exactly. And he was just buying time, basically.
Right.
The last thing he saw was Luke and Leia together.
Right.
And that he had not seen that since they were infants.
Right.
So just imagine like his whole life just came full circle at that moment.
Exactly. Yep. And that's why he just looked totally at peace. He smiled. He was ready. It's like his mission has finally fulfilled. Yeah.
And because of, his training with Qui-Gon through the Force, remember Yoda said, I've got some homework for you, Revenge of the Sith. He knew where he would be going. He knew he would be joining the Force and be able to actively involve himself in Luke's life.
Right. Exactly. Yep. So, Rural Farm Boy, are you taking off? If so, we're so happy you could join us tonight. We love you. May the Force be with you.
That's right.
Yeah. And, one thing, I guess, we're not really going in like chronological order, but I was, disappointed that Vader could not even have a hint that Leia was his daughter. I was always very disappointed with the original trilogy that there was no opportunity for that. Like, she only had just learned Vader was her father from Luke when he revealed that they were brother and sister. So I'm really just disappointed that nothing ever came to that. But
Well, I think that he was so entrenched, because we really have to think about like how much physical and mental pain he's in at any given moment.
Right.
And he's all like, the dark side feeds off his pain and his anger.
Yeah.
And so all of that has clouded his vision. And so he's not able to, like, I don't think he's able to sense things. You know, I like to think that the light side in him is what sensed Obi-Wan's presence. Like the Anakin.
Yeah.
You know, and what was left of him that's Anakin.
Right.
But yeah, his own daughter is Force sensitive, and he doesn't even
know it.
He
could sense it with Luke, because he said the Force is strong with this one. Yes. Remember, towards the end when he was.
But Luke was actively using the Force. Leia doesn't.
Right. That's a good point. That's a good point.
But yeah, we talked about too how it was obvious that she was Force sensitive, because she was resistant to the mind probe, and that's just like Rey in
that's a good point.
The Force Awakens. She was resistant as well.
Yep. So Press Play just said it makes sense that they were not going full on board lightsaber battle. They were both being cautious. I mean, I would be the same way if I had seen someone that tried to kill me from 20 years later. You know, I mean, that's such a momentous moment. Obviously Vader wants revenge, but no, I didn't mind the lightsaber battle scene at all. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
So
my major takeaways were Leia and 3PO, definitely, and Han. I love getting the garbage chute flyboy. I mean, she's picking off stormtroopers, left and right while she's directing everybody, and she criticizes the plan of their rescue after being rescued.
Right. I love how she gets under Han's skin. I just love it. You know, you can tell that he's not used to women talking to him this way. And she has, no scruples doing it to him.
So he's like, I don't know if I'm going to kill her, if I'm beginning to like her.
Right. And that was kind of funny. I still don't understand why Lucas did this, if this was the direction he was going. But, the whole tension between him and Luke, over her. Like, what do you think about her? I'm trying not to, kid. But yeah, so
That's interesting. Amanda just said she saw a theory that Luke kind of shields Leia's Force abilities without even knowing it. So that could be like a twin thing.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. Okay. That would make sense then. Because we really didn't see her. We haven't seen her use that ability at all besides the mind probe thing, but also when Luke calls to her in Empire. That's the only time she senses it. But
and of course, it's explored more in the sequels.
Right.
But that's really something to think about. I mean, because in Return of the Jedi, I know we're not there yet, but Return of the Jedi, he says, a sister. Vader says a sister. Your thoughts betray you. Your feelings for her are strong.
Yeah.
So
right. Oh gosh, I can't wait till we get to that point.
I can't wait.
So I think we pretty much covered everything. This was a great rewatch week with Rogue One and A New Hope. I'm just so happy that we're finally at the original trilogies, because this is where it began with both of us, So it feels like home, actually, like we're coming home, So this week we're going to be watching Empire, obviously, and then we're also going to watch Return of the Jedi. Which is I think Return of the Jedi is probably going to be one of my favorite films, like yours, Brandy.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi is my favorite.
Yeah, I just can't help it. That the whole father-son drama and Vader saving Luke. I mean, you just can't beat that, So, so that's what we're going to be doing in the next week's episode. And that's what we'll be covering. So really just so happy you guys could all join us tonight. It really has been a lot of fun.
It has been.
Talking with you guys, and hope you join us next week as we continue on with the original trilogy. So I hope you have a great week, and as always, may the Force be with you. Bye, guys.